Welcome back. Our plus one today is telling the story of growing up with a mother suffering from severe mental health issues. Karena Dawn is pouring everything she experienced in her childhood and all of the lessons she learned along the way in her memoir. It's called The Big Silence, a daughter's memoir of mental illness and healing. She's joining us now at the desk. Welcome back, I should say, Karena.
We love having you here.
I love visiting.
Last time it was a very different tone.
We were working out.
But you know what? This is a form of working out. Our mind is such an important thing. We talk about it time and time again, and it's so important you've written this book because I think a lot of people will relate to this.
Yeah, working out for me is a mental, not a physical thing. I have to work out to feel good, to get rid of any energy that's not good. Yeah, and writing this book was quite a passion project.
Yeah. And generationally, too, I love that this is coming from a daughter's POV because I've sometimes noticed my grandmother will brush things off. My mom will bottle things up. And then I'm a millennial, and I'm trying to navigate growing up, seeing them do these things, but also embracing that it's okay to have boundaries. It's the boundaries.
Yeah. No, it was really important for me to tell this story, even though for many years I was very scared because of the stigma and the generational trauma. I'm a second generation. My family, my dad's side is from the Ukraine, and even I would see my grandparents and my own father not working through a lot of that trauma.
Toughen up.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Yeah,
right,
you don't talk about it. But I realized that once you start to talk about it, it's not just a selfish thing. It opens up the story in that way that other people can share their stories, and that's part of the healing.
It took a lot of courage and bravery to write this story, right? It's so personal, the big silence, but you don't want to be silent about it anymore, right? What is the main takeaway you're hoping that people take away from this book and your story?
Yeah, The Big Silence and also the podcast, it's a conversation in the book and the podcast of all the things we're too scared to talk about, but opening up those conversations and ending the stigma. What I want people to take away from it is you're not alone. We all have a story, because when we don't talk about it, I know growing up, I thought I was the only one because you don't talk about it. I thought I was the only one suffering. And then it was my healing process, hearing and listening to other stories too.
What was your mom's story? What was your story growing up? You had a sister too, but you're the youngest.
I'm the youngest, yeah.
Okay, so talk to us about what happened and how long did it take for you to realize something's off here?
Yeah, so I grew up in Indiana and
the Midwest.
No one was definitely talking about it. So my mom started acting differently in the home. She was a missing persons many times. She, would burn all of her art. We weren't allowed to watch TV, listen to music. It was all part of a cult, and she would go missing. So you can imagine, as a teenager in the 90s, I went through my own decade of depression, and I'm also a teenage suicide survivor, thank the Lord. And that's why I feel like it's so important for me, because I'm given that opportunity to be here, to have a voice for others so that everyone doesn't feel alone.
Yeah, experience can truly lead the way, and experience can be the best teacher. So for any parents watching right now, or maybe even some teens that are watching right now, what would be your own advice to each of them?
It sounds easy, but it's not. But go to someone that you trust, or find a resource. You can even find resources that are anonymous, but don't be afraid. Just, because of the stigma, like, I don't want to tell anyone, like, something's wrong with me, or I'm feeling this emotion. And I really want to normalize therapy too. And that's part of, with the foundation side of Big Silence, we provide therapy.
Is that what helped you? How did you kind of know you had like that breakthrough moment where?
It was listening to yourself. Like, you know what's right for you. And I had this aha moment when I was in my early 20s. I had moved to LA. The private investigator found my mom in LA, and I went out here, thought I was going to save her, ended up moving her because I just loved it. But I had this moment after a 3-day bender, and I was like, this is not who you're meant to be. You are not going to be your mother. So often you're like, I'm going to end up like my mother, because it is genetic. With genetics, with
our makeup,
it skipped a generation. So I'm here to speak about it. I think just that aha moment said, Karena, get up. I started doing what made me happy as a kid, and I ran a half marathon back then, and I loved fitness. And so I signed up for a triathlon. I traded Hollywood club nights for surfing in the morning, and went to therapy.
Healthy life.
Yeah, went to therapy. Read a ton of self-help books. So it's a process, and you're forever, even though you have that trauma in you, you're always going to be working on yourself, and all of us are, and just. It's a continuous
Your
thing.
focus on fitness was like your avenue where you took all that energy, right? And it was helping you too at the same time, actually making you healthier, both mentally and physically.
Yeah, and then that's when I was like, how can I share how fitness can be fun and not just be about an aesthetic? How can we teach people that it's fun and it's also great for your mental health? And so I wanted to share that message, and that's how Tone It Up was founded.
Yeah, exercise is not about just your muscle, it's your mind.
Yeah, both are important, but yeah.
It's a really good message.
I think one of the things that I always think about is we spend so much time focusing on our exterior, right? Like the workout or whatever you want to do to your face. Well, you know, everyone's different, but then we sometimes forget about the internal, taking care of ourselves internally, and that's equally as important. And I feel like sometimes people wait until something's wrong before they do something, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And then also when something's wrong again, you forget to do, or you don't forget, you choose to not do the things that you know you should be doing, working out, meditating, eating right, getting in nature, sunshine, because you can really be your own self-sabotager.
Was this a cathartic process for you when you finished and saw the final product for this book?
Yeah, I was like, do I release it? It took me 5 years. I thought it was going to be a year, and also the process was really hard because I had to relive so much.
Of course.
But I have a ton of journals from a kid. I saved all of my journals. I interviewed my sister, my dad, so they were part of the process.
Wow. Be healing for them too.
Yeah, and I learned more. I was able, some of the stories I tell in here, I had my dad fill in because I was like, I don't remember exactly what happened. I was so young. So
was it hard to convince them to go along with this journey?
No,
they were willing to
it was healing for them.
Well, that's great, actually.
You healed your family in the process.
And we're looking at beautiful pictures of your life, right?
Wow.
That's my husband, Bobby.
Aww.
He's great.
Oh, he's here.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. Hi, husband. Good-looking couple. You know what also I think about? You have this, I didn't know the backstory about your life, but I have followed you along throughout the years. And it's interesting because do you feel like you have to put on this persona too? Like, I'm so perfect, I'm gorgeous, I'm healthy, I'm fit. And I'm hiding all of these things that are maybe some things that people won't think is glamorous and, you know, pleasant.
Yes, there was definitely, for the first part of founding Tone It Up, like, can't talk about my past because you're this fitness role model. No, she couldn't have done drugs. She couldn't have been depressed for 10 years. But then finally it was like, I wasn't feeling authentic to me. And so doing this, thank you.
No, good for you. Because it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to put yourself out there in a very vulnerable way, in an authentic way, but you were true to you.
Yeah.
So the book and the podcast hand in hand?
Yeah, Big Silence, the Big Silence. Yep.
Oh, how are you feeling today?
I feel great. I just got back from Hawaii last night.
You're glowing.
We love Inside Out. Taught us to identify our feelings, the movie, and so it's nice to ask people, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling present, joyful, and living authentically.
That's awesome.
So great
that is
to
a
hear.
gift.
Thank you for sharing this beautiful book with us.
Yeah, be sure to pick up a copy, The Big Silence, A Daughter's Memoir of Mental Illness and Healing, available now on Amazon.
And there's also an audiobook.
Oh, perfect.
Even better.
Yeah, right?
We're
your way
stuck
home.
on that 405.
Totally.
Or 110. Or the 5. I mean, name it.
You're just stuck.